Great. So thank you, everybody. We're going to begin, and then as folks come in, we can let them in. And this is being recorded, so it will be up on YouTube. I believe many of you have received. There was no set really agenda, but just a couple things, I guess. So you received the newsletter, and we have not posted it yet on our social media because we really wanted to have this meeting first to our members. To at least offer to them. I'm actually just saying just offer to them, but let me just at least go over some of the financials if I could. Hugo is unable, he's the treasurer, he's unable. We have a couple accounts. Our general account has $32,800 something in it. This account is our general that we will be paying for the inscription on the plaque on the Adams garage, on the parking garage. Then we will also, part of this budget is that we are paying for Nelson Fernandez to work on the business improvement district. So that work will be continuing. And then there's ongoing administrative costs, the constant contact for newsletter, our website. There's a monthly cell phone PO box and some other administrative expenses. These get reported out to the executive committee, and I'll go over at least just those who are on the executive committee in a minute. And then there is one other account that we serve as a fiscal agent for Black-owned Brockton and their Creative Impact Fund. Shalia can report out when we get to that point. But we have had a slow membership drive. Many of you have been seeing me saying, hey, membership drive has been over a couple months. And we are not, we're just going to continue on. But the membership helps support the ongoing work that the DBA has been doing, working on clean and safe downtown, working on collaborating. A lot of that work when we did the SWOT analysis, that survey that had over 200 people participating, that took time. Although none of the Old Colony Planning Council staff, including myself and Megan and Elise and Paul, receive any funding from this. But we also had been, we put on back in February, I believe it was the state of downtown. And again, lots of time dedicated to putting that on. So anyway, that's where we are on the financials. And then I guess what I would like to do, at least just acknowledge who is on the executive committee. So besides myself, it's Amanda Glennon. She is a staff member at NeighborWorks. Megan Fournier, who is you're a clerk, right, Megan? We
Correct.
do file, thank you, just as an aside, we file every year with the Secretary of State, our charitable. In addition to that, we have Shalia Gilmer, Paul Umano from my office, and then Hugo D'Amatos from Harbor One as a treasurer. We have Elise who does come and help give us some support, but she's not officially on as an executive committee. So just wanted to kind of put that out there. And then I think we can kind of maybe go, let's go to the announcement that we made and then also to the priorities. And for those who have not received it, the Downtown Brockton Association Executive Committee, we as a whole struggled for a couple of months, but we struggled to talk about this and what it involved and what it entails. And we did make the decision that we are not going to coordinate the holiday parade. That has been sent to all public officials, the mayor, city council, school committee, legislators. And thank you for bringing that back up. We wanted to give as much notice as we could. This really was, last week was the earliest that we could do that. It is a lot of work, personal time, work time, and we have wonderful volunteers, but even those volunteers, let me just stop, wonderful volunteers. And, but it's a lot to put on. And so, as it says in here, we really regrettably, there's certain elements, struggling to get things posted on social media, to support, to promote, to talk about it. That's within the school system. Last year was a struggle. We were offering $250 for every school to participate, and only two took us up on it. But just a lot. And so that is the comment that we leave with all of you. It is regrettably, it is not done for any other reason than for some sweat equity. Things have been trickling. It is not political, underscoring it is not. If you knew the people that are involved, you'll know it's everything but political. So I really want to understate. I don't want to understate that strong enough. This really is a matter of that we have other things to do. So if you are a member, if you have questions about that, please let me know. You can reach out to me separately. But I think more importantly, it's the next page that we're really kind of talking about what we really are going to prioritize. And if we are going to be putting some things into play, it really is going to be about families. It's really going to be about businesses. So it's supporting members, residents, local ventures with advertising, business, technical support, pursuing grant funding, which we have been doing. We've been actually pursuing grant funding and earmarks for keeping clean and safe downtown. I had sent a request through Representative Dubois for $50,000. And she did put it in the House. It was also supported by the Senate, by Senator Brady. We are waiting to hear the funding, and it really will be for clean and safe downtown, working with the Brockton Garden Club. We don't have the mechanics or anything else of that, but it was approved by the budget, and it was not vetoed. So that's one of them, working to facilitate and promoting the business improvement district. We have 150% support that this is the way to go. You can only rely on volunteers, and many of you on this column, as I'm looking around, are in fact volunteers. It takes a lot, and so by hiring somebody, it would be replacing a lot of the sweat equity that us volunteers have been doing this for the last few years. And we're really looking on for the business improvement district. So Nelson Fernandez, who had been working on it, took some hiatus over the summer with family, and he's back, and we're going to work on a work plan for him in moving forward. And hopefully that's the way that it will go. And then committing again to the Clean City Initiative and the beautification, and then growing the DBA membership and community network. And so certainly if you are interested, I know it was put into the chat to become a member. It's not asking a lot. It's $50 if you are a nonprofit, or if you're a business, $100. I know it was asked if you are a resident of the downtown, how does that factor in, and how to become a member and have a voice. We still have not figured that out. So I know it's one way that, even some of the facilities, the developers who have housing, not everyone is a paid member. So it's an ongoing struggle just to get people to come to the plate and pay that $100. So those are our priorities. And I know there's a couple of you, I know we had some member just become members just yesterday. So questions or comments from anybody about either the priorities or about the holiday parade decision? And if you have a question, just raise your hand or unmute yourself. And it doesn't really look like that. So, go ahead.
Just more of a quick comment, Mary. Just wanted to say thank you for all your efforts that you've done to keep that parade going. It was amazing, and I know it's a lot of work. And so I know that I speak for everybody here that it was a labor of love. So
thank you, Cindy.
Thank you.
And you are one of those volunteers that have shown up. We're part of the lot captains and brought your own lunch, and it is a labor of love. So Thank you for your
No, it was
volunteer.
not an easy decision, but I wanted to thank you just publicly. So thank you, Mary.
It is a village of, as I look at all the others. Representative Mendez.
Yes, thank you so much. I really wanted to be part of this meeting today because every year I try to help out as much as I can with the holiday parade. I know it's a nice event in the city. Have you had any interest of or ideas of who else would be able to come? I just want to see how we can save this if there's any way. It's just too
No,
sad.
Representative, thank you for being on. And I know that Representative Dubois replied to the DBA in terms of kind of the same topic. As a policymaker in the city, we're hoping that you and others can do that. There is $10,000 that the city has, the mayor's office budget has, that belongs to the parade. We have no intention of taking that because it has a DBA's name on it. That is for the parade. So there's that $10,000. It does take more than $10,000. It takes about $50,000 plus volunteer time to put on the parade. And as our letter said, that we would certainly offer some guidance, but that's where we will land. So we have, besides you being on and Representative Dubois, we have not heard from anybody else. So I would.
I will reach out to you offline and then we'll see if we can do anything. I'll follow up on it because I really think it's going to be a huge loss for the city. And then once we go a year without having it to get it back up, then forget about it. Then that's
we understand that. In fact, I had reached out to two counselors about 2 months ago, gave them a little bit of a heads up about it. I know that they said, well, we have to, but to be honest with you, the community has to, right? Doesn't necessarily mean the DBA. And I know that there are other business associations that are also struggling. It's just trying to find people, just trying to find people to step up and serve is a battle. So, but thank you, Representative Mendez. I can certainly, we can chat offline as well. Mike Lambert.
Yep, I just wanted to echo the note of thanks that Cindy gave, but also I think it's worth directly tying the two topics that you raised together, that if and when a bid is approved and the board and members voted that they wanted to have a holiday parade would happen. You'd have a full-time staffer, you'd have social media, you'd have the funding that it takes. So, I mean, that in order is underlining your point, the bid makes not only a parade possible, but also any number of the other initiatives that we want to get going.
It's a really great point, Mike, and I appreciate that. I know you were one of the first signers for the Business Improvement District as well. It is a line of, a dedicated person to be working on, again, from everywhere, everything from getting, giving businesses technical assistance. Every other day I get a call from somebody who's looking for some assistance. And now with the Brockton Redevelopment Authority, really, and I'm not saying anything out of school here, with the Redevelopment Authority not having funds either, that there's no longer that person who's in charge of businesses. So I have a full-time job. It's here and I have talked to a couple of my own board members and said, you should be mad at me for being so much of my time. Like literally 50% of my day can sometimes be dedicated to the Downtown Brockton Association. And that's not what they're paying me for. We own this building and I love this historic building, but and to the credit of some of the folks that are on here, there have been some increase of some cleaning up and more visibility of some police, but it's been a struggle. Staff members have been pushed by an unhoused person. Cars have been broken in. Poop just this morning has been, so we have to pay for a cleaning crew to come clean up around our building because I was doing it every morning and it was a lot. That was, and I'm not looking to bash this community or anybody. It's just a reality. And so now, with the Frederick Douglass and what they're doing with the park and supporting what they're doing, with, the hope is that working with the Brockton Garden Club and maybe removing those planters from the ground and putting them up on the lights, right? So let's find some funding and not use city funds. So Business Improvement District can do all of this without having to break the backs of volunteers. And I do, looking at Amanda and Megan and Elise from my office, and they know, they've been here, and again, anyway, I'm off. Thank you, Mike, but the Business Improvement District is a good one. How about anybody else? Megan, go right. I think I'd like to hear from thank you, Megan and Amanda, please weigh in.
Yeah, and I like to say, I grew up in Brockton my whole life. I lived here with my husband and I are high school sweethearts. We've grown up here, and I've worked here for a lot of my career, even though I was in Boston for a while. And I think that it's important to know that this was not a decision that any of us took lightly. We went back and forth a lot, and I think half the time we had to continue to talk ourselves back into our original plan to step away, because we have so much passion for this city, and we know how much potential that this city has and how wonderful it is. And I think that is just important to note, that this was not something, as Mary said, it's not political. It's more of just, we are individuals who have worked relentlessly to try and make a difference, and we want to do that. But I think it's just refocusing on how we can help the businesses rather than just focusing on other things. And that's what it is how can we best help businesses in the downtown, which is what we are, while also not burning ourselves out, because we know it's not an easy task to be a part of, being Mary, who's been running this association as if it is her full-time job, because she has such passion for Brockton. And so it's just, this is really just something that's not only as a personal decision from all of us, but it's also as how are you going to get your best membership value out of what it is that we're going to be working on instead.
Thanks, Megan. Amanda, and then maybe if Shalia can weigh in as well.
Yeah, I agree with everything that was said. It's strategic, but it's positively strategic. So I think I don't want to think of it as potentially losing something, because it doesn't mean that nothing will happen. It doesn't mean that there won't still be things going on in the community, and it doesn't mean that this won't still happen. It just, we just won't take the lead, but we'll still be a supporting role. And that's what we're here for, is for community, to build community, to support community, but strategically to make sure that we're supporting our members and that we're supporting the bid, just because if we can get the bid underway and we can get people on board with understanding the bid and adopting the bid and understanding the impact that could have for Brockton, things could be different a few years from now. So it's just important, I think, for folks to understand, to learn, for us to be able to support our members, and of course, support the community by, making sure that we're giving the members the attention that they deserve, but also giving our jobs that are all here in downtown Brockton the impact and the time that they need as well.
Thank you, Amanda. Shalia? Maybe did I lose her? I might have lost her. And so again, I wish I could say that it just popped up. For those that may have known, it was a bit of a struggle last year after the holiday parade. I did send an email to all the city officials and thanked for the volunteers. And then I also did note that we were a week before the parade. It was attempted to charge us $17,000 for detail of police. We don't have that kind of money to do that. And while there was some discussions about not having that be charged this year, we just, at that point too, was like, I felt, and to be honest with you, I never heard a reply back from anyone after that email. That to me should tell all of you, like when you're fighting your friends or fighting people that are supposed to be supporting you, but we're moving on from that. That is a decision. This is being left. We already had some discussions with the Brockton Public Library and supporting them and having more teddy bears be created. And Paul and the library team are just fantastic. And again, the focus is about families, children's, and offering free event, free. And it could still happen. And so I would just recommend, since the money is in the mayor's office, and again, I have not heard from anybody in the mayor's office, from the mayor's office, and I know a couple folks are on today, but that would be the way that if one's going to want to access those funds, I would say contact the mayor's office. And that if there is one, we will not I think one of the things that we're asked for is like, can you give us a list of volunteers? We won't do that, but we will tell that if there is an organization that's serious about putting the parade on, we will certainly provide the contact for our volunteers to reach out and support for those that want to continue. We're not looking to make it difficult. We're just looking to make sure that it's just not all like the funds that I talked about in the beginning. Those are funds that belong to the DBA, and we're going to be focused on all those priorities that we talked about. Those funds do not belong to the holiday parade. But there may be something that we would support along the way. But that, again, requires discussion. It requires an organization that's serious about it, and the policymakers of the community. I know it sounds a little bit down. I don't want to leave on a down note. I would really like to stay focused on those priorities. Shalia Gilmer from Black-owned Brockton, I know she had to leave, but you know, they have $67,000 that they received from Mass Development to work on a creative fund for activities in the downtown. So there is an artist, a Brockton born artist, and he no longer lives in the city, but he was schooled, and he's doing a sidewalk art in the downtown and bringing the community in. So Boys and Girls Club and the artists are coming together to do artwork on temporary artwork on sidewalks. How beautiful is that, right? So thank you for sharing the link to Black-owned Brockton. Those are the things that we're going to support. Bid-like activities until that bid comes in. And so we will not be having monthly meetings. You know, I know I'm looking at Claire. There's many of you that are paid members of Brockton Garden Club, Brockton Area Transit. We will continue to do newsletters, but to hold, even like to pull this meeting together and put a Zoom and get the meetings out, and it's just a lot of extra work. But we will make sure that we stay in communication with all of you. And if anyone has or would like to have a conversation, I'd be more than happy to schedule something with you. And with that, I think that's it. Appreciate all of you members, paid members. Thank you even more so. And then, great. So that is the email. Thank you, Amanda, for putting that in there. My work email has to be separated out now. I mean, I'm very careful about what I'm doing, but that BrocktonDBA@gmail, make sure it's not in your spam, because that's where our communication is going to be going directly from the Brockton DBA, and then going forward. So I don't see any other questions or comments. Thank you, everyone, and we'll keep you posted. Have a good one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.